temple was destroyed during the time of the Romans in 70 A.D. You know, that's basically that's the breakdown. And like the Elder Tara was saying, if you want to get deeper into it, you do your own research. You know, we'll give you a certain amount of information, but you do your own research. You go out there and you look up things. You know, you look up about the emperors. You know, if you want to know particulars, because sometimes brother be like, oh, what does this precept? Well, it says him. What does that mean? Now you gotta go into this you gotta put your own work in, so to speak. You know, and the Lord will work with you. If you be a man of the Lord will work with you and start opening up your spirit to start understanding certain things. You know, you're not gonna just get this just by sitting there and just accepting everything we tell you. You got to go out there and you got to do your own research.
Yeah, you beyond sucking the titty. All right, you beyond sucking the titty. All right, you're beyond that milk. A lot of you are beyond that milk, and now you got to start eating meat. All right. Okay, go ahead. Read that.
This is Titus Flavius Sabianus Vespasianus. Damn. AD 39 to 81.
Double damn.
Yeah. The son of Vespasian and Roman emperor from AD 79 to 81. After serving in the army in Germany and Britain, he became the commander of a legion under his father in the Jewish War 66 to 70 AD. When Vespasian was proclaimed emperor, Titus led the force that captured Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. The Arch of Titus, which still stands at Roman Forum, commemorates this victory and displays treasures taken from the temple.
You can see them right now. You can see them pictures of them right now. And that's a place, when you go to Rome, which niggas don't go. Niggas ain't got no money to go to a trip. You can go to Florida some damn where, you know, or maybe if you got a couple of dollars, you can go to Canada. But you ain't gonna see too many Negroes go to Rome, all right? But the people that go on vacation to Rome, that's one of the tourist spots, one of the great places of Rome to see, that arch. Go ahead.
Titus shared Vespasian's rule until his father's death, whereupon Titus was declared emperor. The aid he provided to victims, of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, 79, and of a fire and plague that devastated part of Rome, 80 AD, contributed to his popularity. His long-standing affairs with the Jewish princess Bernice, the daughter of Agrippa I, great-granddaughter.
Okay, now let's start right there. Read that again. Let's get this straight.
The aid he provided to victims of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, 79 AD, and of a fire and plague that devastated part of Rome, 80 AD, contributed to his popularity. His long-standing affair with the Jewish princess Bernice, the daughter...
She wasn't no Jewish... Well, you got these Edomites that call themselves Japs, Jewish American princesses. Well, this bitch right here, she wasn't no Jew. She wasn't a Jew, all right? She was a so-called Jew, all right? Because her father he came out of the Herodian line, which was so-called Jews. So she was an Edomite. But she could have looked like a so-called Jew. She could have had dark skin. Go ahead.
The daughter of Agrippa I, great-granddaughter of Herod the Great, was...
Which were Edomites, man. So even that shows you back then them Edomites wanted to be Jews, and they kept that line going. They were teaching, don't you know you're a Jew? Your great-grandfather, he was the king of the Jews. You're a Jew. Don't forget that. You're a Jew. That's why to this day you got them devils down there in Israel talking about come to Israel, come stay with friends, man. Go ahead.
Was unpopular in Rome, and he ended it when he became emperor. Upon his death, the Senate immediately defied him.
Deified him. That's it. Okay, you got something, brother? All right, go ahead.
Titus' triumph after the first Jewish-Roman war was celebrated with the Ark of Titus in Rome, which shows the treasures taken from the temple in Jerusalem, including the menorah and the trumpets of Jericho. Titus' triumph after the first Jewish-Roman war was celebrated with the Ark of Titus in Rome, which shows the treasures taken from the temple in Jerusalem, including the menorah and the trumpets of Jericho.
Yeah, the trumpets of the trumpets of Jericho actually go back thousands of years, man. So they defiled it, man. So that's what the Lord meant by what he said in Matthew 24. Go ahead.
Matthew 24 and 15. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet,
And the researcher just read that. Go ahead.
stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Right. So that was talking about then. Now he said go up into the mountains, right? Now you had Israelites that fled up into the mountains. You had Israelites that fled into Africa. That's why Jake called himself Africans today, because we were brought to serve slavery from Africa to America to serve slavery, because we had to flee from the Romans. Okay? Got anything?
Back in Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 at the end. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Exactly. That's when they went into the temple, man. At one time, we were on good terms with them Caesars, and then there was a point where that was cut off. And then they said, you know what? We're just going to destroy this place. Because going back to Claudius, we were pushed out of Jerusalem, but then after Claudius, you had Nero, then you had Vespasian and so forth, and his two sons, and they said, you know what? We're going to actually go to Jerusalem, and we're going to destroy that place. And we're going to go into the temple, and we're going to go into the Holy of Holies, and we're going to take whatever is in there, man. So that's the fulfillment of what the brother read in Matthew, the 24th chapter. All right? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, nor wine, nor oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Now that was during the period when they came in and destroyed us, and then that's going into Vespasian and his two sons, because we're going to read down. Go ahead. Because it's going to actually speak about the siege. Go ahead.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the strait.
Right, that siege is talking about when the Romans, during the time of Titus, when they actually came in with that flood. That flood represents them armies. They came in, man, like a flood just overwhelmed you. That's how the Roman armies came and overwhelmed you. And then there was a point where they had it where no one could go in and no one could come out. No food could come in. And they were eating the leaves from the trees and the grass from the ground, and then they ran out of that, and they were eating their belts, leather belts and their leather shoes